G'day guys, welcome to Pointy Not Sharp. Today we're taking a look at a Turkish cut down model 98/05 bayonet for a variety of their rifles. Turkey of course had a lot of surplus from Germany, both bayonets and rifles, and they modified both and they used them in almost every configuration or combination that you can imagine. So a couple of rifles that this bayonet would fit to is the 1903/38, the 1893/30, the 1888/35, and of course the Model 98 itself. Now, this bayonet was originally made in Germany in 1917 by Waffenfabrik Mauser at Obendorf. In 1917 and 1918, during the First World War, the Ottomans requested modern arms from Germany, and Germany supplied a decent number of arms. Now, I'm not sure if this is one of those or one of the ones that was supplied after the war, because immediately after the First World War, the Ottomans received a very large number of these bayonets and German arms in general. The only thing I can tell you is that this one was not retained by Germany and didn't make its way to Turkey at a later date, because the Treaty of Versailles limited the Germans and the amount of arms they could have, and they actually started marking all of theirs with a 1920 stamp if it was retained in their surface. This one doesn't have that stamp, so this is not a German one that was retained afterwards. So it made its way to Turkey either in the batch that went in 1917 and 1918 or immediately after the war. This one being made in 1917, it could be either. There's no real way to discern either way either. Now, taking a look at the bayonet itself, it's a classic Imperial German 98/05 bayonet that's been cut down. So the original big butcher blade, the big thick 14.5 inch blade, has been cut down to about 10 inches. It's been cut down to a bit of a spear point, as you can see there. And despite how it looks, it's actually quite sharp. It's been done quite well. It's been modified into quite a handy knife. This would make an absolutely fantastic chopper or stabber. Make a very, very good field knife, I'd imagine. Now, the blade itself, as per the original 98/05, has a fuller running down both sides of the blade, and it's been modified with a false edge, which has been sharpened. Then moving down to the crossguard, just the classic 98/05 crossguard with the downswept quillen. Then we've got two wooden handles either side, retained by two screws. And then we've got the blast plate on the back, as well as the lack of ears. So we know that this is later, the new model of the 98/05. The earlier version didn't have that. And they were, the blast plate was added and the ears were removed in a modification to protect the bayonets from when they're fired with the carbine version of the Model 98 rifle. The blast would damage the top of the bayonet. So those are modifications to protect that bayonet. This is obviously one that's been one of the new models that come in after 1915, and we know this because it's made in 1917 as well. Taking a look at the pommel, it's a really heavy-duty pommel, quite solid, and this has the nicest push button of any bayonet I've ever used or ever held. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's just a standard push button, as with pretty much all Mauser bayonets. And anyway, moving on to the scabbard. It's a standard 98/05 scabbard that's been cut way down by the Turks to fit their cut down bayonet. All the markings that would usually be at the top of the scabbard are gone, so we don't have a single marking on this scabbard anywhere. And it's been quite crudely modified, honestly. I'm not sure if the light picks it up, but that's a really crude weld attaching the clip just there, and the screw's been quite crudely put in as well, and flathead screw, it's been really reefed. There's a bit of a gap between the throat and the scabbard. So on the one side we've got an incredibly well made beautiful bayonet, and then really crude modifications. The bayonet itself is in pretty rough condition. been with the Turks for a long time and may have well seen service in the First World War, so slightly earned its stings. Now, in terms of markings on this bayonet, we'll start with the ricasso. So the ricasso has the original manufacturer has their mark here on the ricasso as per all 9805, so there's nothing different about that. And same again on the spine. We've got the royal cipher for Kaiser Wilhelm II, who reigned from 1888 through to 1918. Obviously, their monarch. Get that to focus again. And then moving down, we've got a marking on the crossguard, which I believe is either a serial number or a unit or regiment marking. I'm not sure which. You see a lot of these 9805s with regiment numbers on them. However, they usually look a bit different to this, so I'm not 100% certain what that is. Then there is no markings at all on the handle, nothing on the pommel. I've seen lots of 9805s with inspection marks on the pommel, so I don't know if this one just didn't get them or if they've worn off. I don't know. And as I previously said, there are absolutely no markings on the scabbard. So this manufacturer, being Waffen Fabrik Mauser in Obendorf, they used to put their manufacturer's mark at the top of the scabbard. I'm not sure if it's the front or the back, but at the very, very top of the scabbard by the mouth. Now, because this one's been cut down, we don't have that marking. And there are no markings from the Turks to accept this into service or anything like that. Okay. So service life. These are brought in about 1917, 1918. They were used throughout World War One, towards the end of World War One, and the Turkish War for Independence, as well as the three rebellions they had. It was most likely cut down in the 1930s or early 1930s. That's when they started cutting down all of their bayonets into what they call the model of 1935, which encompasses a large assortment of cut down bayonets from the 1890 to the 1898 or what have you. There's a whole range of cut down bayonets that fall under that category. I don't know the official designation for this. I assume it might even fall under the M1935 as well. Now, these are not too rare on the collector's market. You come across a couple of them. This one is incredibly nice. I like it a lot. It feels fantastic. It's a brilliant weight. I think it would make a very, very handy fighting knife or field knife. Now, if you want more information on the original manufacturer or issue of the 9805, I highly recommend checking out Imperial German Bayonet's YouTube channel. Absolutely fantastic, the amount of information that guy has in his videos. Very, very well made. And very, very under-accessed, I think. I think he deserves a much bigger audience than he has for the content he produces. It's absolutely fantastic. But if you think I've missed anything today or I've made any mistakes, let me know, guys. I'm happy to make amendments if I have to. I want to make this the most accurate record that I possibly can. But thanks for tuning in and watching, and I'll see you again next time.